Hello world, it's me, Fandroid, the musical robot, and today we're going to be talking about something again, and that's death. That's death. And I want to make it very clear that one of my family members, actually two, did pass away pretty recently for me. It's been pretty tough for me, but I don't need any pity. I'm okay. It's just, I want to talk about this while it's fresh. Because, I don't want to do something that's just been done over and over and over again, which I'm guessing death has been probably talked about quite a few times. But basically the basic premise is that death, well, it's sad, and I understand that it's sad, and I'm sorry if it happened to you. What I also want you to know is that it's okay. It's genuinely, it's okay. And it may sound crazy for me to say that. Like, how could it be okay for someone to die? But just hear me out. It's kind of hard to do this video because of just how tired I've been because of that, but about the loved ones that I lost. But the basic thing is that it's okay. And something else that my mom told me that I think I want to pass down into YouTube for people to be able to realize is that they were most likely in pain before they died. And while everyone, including them, probably wanted to stay alive, that's not what happened. They died. And I want you to know is that they're in a better place now. No matter what you believe in, I feel like it's okay to believe in something, some kind of good place that people go when they die. And something else that I just want to say is that people want to unalive themselves. They want to unalive themselves once they lose a family member, which I understand in some regards. I don't say that you should do it, but I understand where they're coming from that, because they want to meet their loved ones after something terrible happened and that person happened to have died. And I want you to know is that it's okay. But something else is that you can't control what happens in nature. Things just happen because sometimes they just happen. That's really all that's happening. That's really all there is. Sometimes death just happens because it happens. That's all you can really do. You can't stop it. You can't like try to fight it off or something. It just happens on its own, and you can't fight it. It's something that is sadly gonna happen no matter what. Something that's just gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And people who say that death is dumb, I don't know if anyone does say that, but the thing is that for people who even think that, death is not just terrible. It's not just a one-off thing where it's terrible. Because sometimes death does do some good things, like get rid of horrible people. But, that not everyone deserves what happens. And I also think it's okay to believe in ghosts and other types of spirits and stuff, because me personally, I kind of believe in it a little bit, because it does make sense in some regards that I'm not going to dive into because I'm not smart enough to talk about that, but it probably makes sense in some regards. But the thing is that death happens for a reason, and sometimes there just isn't a reason for it other than it happens because it happens. That's just kind of how things are a lot of the time. Some things just happen because they happen. That's just how it is. That's all it is. Things happen like this. You get tired because that's just it. You get tired. Or you're feeling loved, and sometimes nothing may have happened, but you still feel that way, and that's it again. You're feeling just because you're feeling loved. That's all there is to the equation. It's that. Now, I don't think you should follow the trend that I've seen a lot of people do, and what I mean by that is that I've seen specific instances with this YouTuber named KreekCrap. A lot of people have probably watched him. He's a pretty famous YouTuber. But the thing is that people are making fun of him for his grandma dying, which I don't think is very acceptable. Now, I don't watch him, so he may have done something, but from just hearing about it from other people, he didn't do anything wrong. And apparently the Roblox community has just been getting more and more hostile. And what I mean by that is that they just start attacking people for no reason other than just to be cruel. And I'm getting some of this info from this guy called Parlo, so check him out if anybody's watching this. I'm gonna give credit. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know what to say about this, because I have had a grandma that died, so I guess I can kind of relate to him, but no one came up to me and tried to hurt my feelings by saying, hey, yeah, I'm glad your grandma died. Not that I told many people, but the thing is that for the people that did know, they didn't come up to me and say that. They just left me be and let me do my own thing. Which I think is the best thing to do in that situation, because you shouldn't make fun of someone for having their family member die. It's just not an acceptable thing. And another thing is that death is very painful. Death can be painful in a lot of ways, like cancer and earthquakes and stuff like that. It's just that death in general is always seen in its bad light. It's always seen in its bad light, and it's not really seen anywhere else other than that, other than being this scary thing that is a worldwide threat, which technically it is. But remember, death happens for a reason. So so when we go extinct, it's not going to happen. It most likely won't happen just because it happens, which sometimes that happens like that, but it probably won't happen like that. It will probably happen because of a reason. And I honestly think that's just kind of the whole description of death. Death happens for a reason. It happens because it has a reason for it to, and it has a reason to happen. Cancer is a pretty big reason on why death happens. Starvation, that's a reason that death happens. There's just a lot of reasons onto why death happens. And it could be for a good or for a bad reason. But either way, it's just death happens because that's just it. That's all you have to say. Death just happens because it happens. And something else is that I understand for the people. I understand that it's painful to go through. I understand that you won't feel very happy. You'll probably feel very sad, which I totally get. It's a sad experience to go through. And the thing is that you can't, again, I've said this so many times, you can't control death. And death just chooses. It chooses when it happens. It chooses when to show itself. And I think that's something that is very, well known, but, I wanted to get that out there because the whole point of this channel is to get a lot of info out there. At least, look at something new. Just looking at something a different way. But, death can also be beautiful in a way, because while it's mostly seen in its bad lights, you shouldn't totally hate it, because it still has its good qualities. And what I mean by that is that it still has good qualities. Like, terrible people, you don't want those people to be there forever. You want them to eventually go away. So no one ever dying would be, pretty bad for stuff like that. It would be really bad for stuff such as that. And or even people who abuse others. You don't want them to be around. And if they were alive forever, then that means they would be able to do that for as long as they want to. And even if they get sent to jail for life, so basically forever, if someone is able to live forever somehow, then there you go. They're still gonna be able to abuse people in some kind of way. And who knows, they could try to escape. Anything. Especially in so much time. But, that's just kind of how it is. But that's really all I have to say about death. Death is something that happens for either a reason or it appears when it wants to appear. Goodbye and good luck.